The biggest mistake that I see international buyers make on their buying trip to the Costa del Sol is not choosing the wrong property, it's choosing the wrong location. So here's what I see happen all of the time. You finally book your trip. You've identified 15 properties on property portals like Idealista to view. You've mapped your route. You've watched every YouTube video under the sun around how to have a successful buying trip. You land in Málaga, you're ready to go. Day one starts out great. You've seen a few properties, looks good. Day two comes, you've probably seen 6 or 7 properties. You've driven 200 kilometers. You've already forgotten what property number 2 on day 1 looked like. And by day 4, you're fed up. You've lost steam, you've lost patience, and you're ready to jump on that flight home. Sad part is, I see this happen all of the time. So if you give me the next 10 minutes, I'm going to support you to plan a buying trip that actually moves you forward, that actually helps you to gain momentum. You're going to leave this episode with a solid plan, a solid strategy, what to focus on before you even book your buying trip, how to narrow down the areas to search within before you even fly. For anyone new here, my name is Sandra. I'm the co-founder of WL Costa Properties, and between our team of experts, we have over 30 years experience selling properties to international buyers like you on the Costa del Sol. Stay tuned until the very end of the episode because I'm going to narrow down the exact 3 things that you need to do before you even book your flights. So let's cut to it. We're going to focus on tip number 1. And I really want you to hear this one. This one is really important. Do not try to see the entire Costa del Sol coastline in one trip. Do not try to see everything in one trip. And here's why. The Costa del Sol is large. It's over 160 kilometers of coastline. It stretches all the way down to Manila. Many different towns, villages, neighborhoods with different vibes and different offerings depending on the type of buyer that you are and the type of life that you want to build on the Costa del Sol. Each pocket, each town, each neighborhood offers something completely different in terms of lifestyle. A family with kids going to school, a family intending to relocate to the Costa del Sol, they're going to have completely different requirements than somebody who's planning to retire or somebody who's planning to spend part of the year here. The requirement is very different. Because of that, the location offering is very different. It's likely that they're going to end up in a different location. The people who don't pre-filter the location end up viewing properties in locations that do not suit their requirements or the type of life that they want to establish on the Costa del Sol. It is a waste of time and it ends up causing frustration. And it's not your job to know the difference between Calahonda and Capapino at this stage, or what Benalmádena offers versus Torremolinos. Yes, the internet is going to give you information on that, but the expertise comes from the team that you work with on the ground that are going to support you on your buying trip. We need to do our research up front, look at what each location and town offers along the Costa del Sol coastline, then narrow down based on your criteria for your new life in Spain, which of these locations is going to be a good match for you. For your first trip, we want to pick 3 locations. 3 locations based on your search requirements. We recommend that you use our ultimate checklist to get you crystal clear in your search requirements. We put things in the right order for you so you know what to think about first. We support you to do your research on those locations, and on your first trip over, narrow that down to those 3 locations. You're going to hire a car, you're going to visit those locations at various times of the day so that you can understand, okay, in the morning, this location looks very different than it does in the evening. We're going to start to get a clear picture of how you see yourself living in those locations and what locations are right for you. A huge mistake that I see people make is property first, but we need to look at this in reverse. It's lifestyle first, which then supports us to identify location, and then we find the property. Okay, it's the pieces of a puzzle. Now, often what people try to do is they go onto Idealista or property portals. They identify properties that look nice and they build their property search based on the properties that look nice. This is a big no-no. We need to unlearn this bad habit. So it's lifestyle first, visualizing and understanding and getting crystal clear what your new life on the Costa del Sol looks like. From that, we narrow it down to 3 locations that we focus your buying trip around. And then from those, we do a very comprehensive visit to those 3 locations at different times of the day. And then from there, we start to identify what your perfect property looks like. And when those pieces fit nicely together, it's like a domino effect. Everything flows and everything falls into place. But we have to do things in the right order and in the right way. Now, as I mentioned, we have over 160 kilometres of coastline. Along the coastline, we have the different towns and locations, all offering something different for you. We have Málaga, city life. We have Torremolinos. We have Benalmádena, our hometown, which is great for everyone. But specifically, if you're moving with families, if you want access to international healthcare, if you want to be on the train line with great accessibility to the airport and to the motorway to access other parts of the Costa, Fuengirola tends to be more popular with people that are retiring. It's flatter than Benalmádena, so people start to think about their own physical health as they get older. If there's a lot of hills, will they be able to navigate that? People are drawn to Fuengirola for that reason. It's flatter and it's easier for them to navigate their way around. Obviously, we have Marbella. We have the allure, the luxury, the nightlife. We all know what that offers. So it's very important up front that we start to think about what is the type of life that you want? How do you want to live? From there, we define and shortlist locations that could be right for you. Obviously, there's the coastal towns, but there's often inland villages or other locations that can be of interest to buyers, relocators, and investors as well. If you're sitting at home going, oh my God, I just don't know where to pick. I don't know what location is right for me. I don't know where to begin. That's completely normal. You're not expected to know at the start of your search, at the start of your buying journey, what location is perfect for you. That's why I'm speaking to you today about this episode, to help you be as productive as you possibly can and have a really good structure and framework at the start of your buying trip so that you can stay focused, you can stay consistent, and you can follow your plan. Tip number 2, rent a car. Okay, so anyone that is watching or listening that has been on a discovery call or property consultation call with me or Warner over the last number of years will know, we will say to you, hire a car. Okay, you are going to need a car because it's going to give you flexibility to go to your shortlisted locations at those different times of the day whenever you desire. If you're going to be relying on taxis and Ubers, your trip is going to get expensive. If you're going to rely on trains, that's going to be okay for you if you're commuting between Malaga and Fuengirola. But if you're planning to explore other locations like Calahonda, Riviera, Mijas Pueblo, Marbella, you're going to need a car. The train line at this moment does not currently stretch beyond Fuengirola. If you're going to rely on buses, particularly in high season, the timetables can be tricky to navigate and it gets incredibly busy. We don't want to waste time. We want you to hire a car. We want you to get a feel for these locations on your own, not being stuck to a schedule. It's going to allow you to go back to your shortlisted locations in the morning. You're going to want to see what's school traffic like in the morning, what's commuter traffic like. I want to go back in the middle of the day. Is it too quiet for me, or is this the vibe that I want? And I want to go back in the evenings to see what's actually happening in the evenings and potentially on the weekends, because if I'm going to be living in this location off season, I want to ensure that there is an opportunity for me to build a community and a support network. Hiring a car is mandatory, in my opinion. You're going to pick the car up at Malaga Airport. You're going to get the best selection and the best deals. So you're going to fly into the airport, pick up your car, and away you go. You're independent and you're self-sufficient. You're not relying on public transport. You're not relying on Ubers, Bolts, or taxis. Now we're on to tip number 3, and this is an important one. You want to plan your trip like a local living in the area, not like a tourist. You're going to pace your trip like somebody living in the area. What your routine and your life would potentially look like if you're living there. If you combine the purpose of your trip with a vacation, a family vacation, and a buying trip, the lines get blurry. You're trying to have your vacation, you enjoy yourself. It becomes difficult to get to all of these viewings. People often come over on holiday and meet with real estate agents. When people come to Benalmádena or surrounding areas on a holiday and they want to meet us, they are combining that first meeting with us with a holiday. They can take 2 hours out of their vacation, come to the office, have a coffee with me. We go through their plan, the questions that they have for Warner and I, their challenges, and we help them with the initial stage of their structure and their search. But when they're coming back for that buying trip, when it's about defining locations and getting clear on where they want to be, it is not recommended to combine that with a vacation. We want to get really specific and ensure that we maximize your time when you come for that buying trip, so you're going to leave crystal clear. So in my experience, don't combine the two. Yes, if you're over on holidays, your first appointment can take place when you're on your holidays to establish your relationship with your real estate agent. When it comes to your buying trip, we want to have no distractions. We want to keep this really specific, that it's a trip for you to find your perfect Costa del Sol location. Do not book 6 to 8 viewings in one day. Don't do it. And if you're working with a real estate agent who is cramming all of these viewings into one day, when it starts to feel a bit like a supermarket activity, it's not good for you, because you're going to spend too much time traveling between these properties. And by the time you hit property 4, you forgot what property 1 looks like. So get really specific with the properties that you choose. Spend a lot of time screening them. Make sure with your agent, or if you're doing it alone, that these properties really match your criteria. Are they really what you want? And be as specific as possible with your viewing trips. Don't just cram in those extra properties for the sake of using your time. That ends up being a wasted effort, because you end up forgetting what you viewed. So we only want you viewing the right properties for you that have been screened correctly and are in line with your requirements. So between viewings, and particularly if these viewings are in different locations, spend some time after the viewings going around the community, going around the urbanizations, going around the areas to see, oh, do I like this? Could I live here? That's really important, because you need to feel like it's right for you. If you're cramming too many appointments in, it's you going from appointment to appointment on a tight schedule, and you're not getting that time to really take in what's happening in the area around the property. So less is more here. Leave one day completely unscheduled. Why? You're going to need some time to percolate. You've probably seen a lot while you've been on your trip. You're going to need some time just to get some headspace, have a walk on the beach, have that where you can really sit and do a bit of a post-mortem on what you've seen and evaluate what you've liked and what you've not liked. And by keeping a bit of time unscheduled, you've got some space in your agenda that if you've overlooked something and you want to go back and do another visit to a certain location or see another property, you've got the capacity to do it. Do what the locals are doing. Eat where the locals are eating. Have your cafe con leche where the locals are having a coffee in the mornings. Get a feel for the vibe, for the pace, for the rhythm. Visit the local supermarket. Have a look where the local medical centre is. So if you're going at it alone, you're going to need to think about these things up front. If you're working with a good agent, they're going to do their homework on this and match those properties to your search criteria. But these things are important. To recap, 3 things. Narrow down your areas to 2 or 3 before you fly. Okay? Number 2, hire a car. We want your time to be productive, and we want you to have the freedom to manage your own schedule, to go around to the different locations at your leisure at different times of the day, so you can see what's happening in those locations. And number 3, pace the trip like somebody who's living in the area, not like you're on vacation. Okay? Allow some white space in your agenda so that you've got the capacity to revisit things the further you go along in your trip. There is a massive difference between coming here with a shortlist prepared and coming here and getting a headache. So I hope you found today's episode beneficial. If you take one thing from the episode, it's making sure that you're prepared and you're doing your homework up front. We do not want you doing that shortlisting exercise on your buying trip. We need to do that heavy lifting and that work up front. If you want a head start, do take our location quiz. It has been created to support you find your perfect Costa del Sol location. It will take you 30 seconds and it's been put together through our research supporting our international buyers, families and investors find their perfect location over our last 10 years in business here on the Costa del Sol. I hope this episode has been useful for you. If it has, please do send it to a friend or somebody that maybe you know is dreaming about their perfect Costa del Sol location in 2026 or beyond. Remember to like and subscribe so others can find us too. Thank you for stopping by and I will see you on the next episode.